Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Here is my settings video for OG Fortnite. Finally coming at you guys with these brand new settings I've been using. At first, I was kind of worried about the settings because I wasn't aiming the way I wanted to. But I think it was just a bit of me being rusty. And with a bunch of practice, I'm finally beaming again. Obviously, I don't think it'll ever be like the old days where everybody had aimbot on controller. But I still hit some pretty good shots this season, as you guys can see. Ooh! Chug jug! What? Oh, my boy! So with that shown, it's just gonna be a real quick settings video, nothing too in depth. So first off, let me point out my controller. I use an Aim controller from the company Aim Controllers. They make completely custom made PlayStation 5 controllers with paddles, removable joysticks. With the controller, I always have a control freak on. So for those of you that don't know what a control freak is, it's an extender that goes on top of your thumbstick and makes it longer. And with this longer thumbstick, you basically have a lot more fine control when it comes to tiny movements. Personally, I've always loved using control freaks for as long as I can remember. It just really helps with the tiny movements that you need when you're trying to beam somebody with an AR from medium range. So like I've always told people, I don't necessarily recommend copying my settings if you're not using a control freak yourself, because it makes a pretty big difference in terms of movement. So if you try copying my settings with no control freak, it'll feel really fast for you. You'll probably need to put it down a little bit to match my sensitivity without a control freak. You don't need a control freak, but I've always told people it's one of the cheapest upgrades you can make. They're like $12 for a pack of 2. It comes with a short one and a big one. I use only the big one. I don't put the short one on this side. And it's basically the best bang for your buck in terms of upgrades you can get to make your gameplay smoother and better. You can order them on controlfreak.com website. You can also use code Brock for like 10% off of your order. Next, this is the map that I've been using. I've actually had this map for quite a while. I just never really published it. This is the code for the map right here. Let me know if the code is working right. Ever since the new Unreal Engine change, this map has been it's kind of confused me on whether it's working right or not. But to start off, we have aim dual cone, which is just a little cone with one of these robots. Super easy practice. This cone part right here is probably one of the most important when it comes to fixing your aim, because I'd say like 80% of your fights end up being in a box, right? So this is where you really want to make sure you have the best aim. You don't need long range aim to be successful in Fortnite, but close range, you definitely need it to be good if you want to be taking on good players. So now with this thing, we go back to the lobby. The next one is called aim dual medium. This is another important aspect you need to practice. Obviously, I'd say the majority of fights start at this range before they end up, boxed up and fighting in a box. So the better aim you can get here, the better chances you'll have at getting your opponent weak before the fight even starts, which is a huge difference maker in winning fights versus losing them. If you can get your opponent even just 50 health like that, you already have a big advantage in rushing them. So this is a very basic map. The robots, they kind of just walk around and they hit these bouncers and they bounce around. And the next one we have is gliding bots. This one, in my opinion, is not as important. Don't be discouraged if your aim isn't very good in here. It's honestly hard, even with good settings, to have good aim against these bots that are really far away. As you can see, even I miss a lot of my shots against these faraway bots. The majority of people don't have very good aim when it comes to tracking in the air like this. And in my opinion, it's the least important of the three, because you can win fights by pushing people. You don't always have to shoot at them from really far away, right? First, focus on making sure your sensitivity is good on the other two modes, and then come in here and see if it's good in here. However, if it's not, don't change your sensitivity so that you have good aim in here, but then you have really bad aim in the other two modes, because that won't help you at all. All right, then these next two, I'm still working on them, deciding what to put for the modes. I don't really have anything in mind. Let me know what you guys think I should add. And then this last one is not really useful for gameplay, but it's great for trick shotting clips. You just basically launch pad and practice your snipes. I use a lot of clips like this in my montage, so this is actually really useful for... Oh, it's kind of bugged sometimes, it does that. But this is actually very useful for learning how to no-scope properly. Just like that. So whenever you touch the floor, you're immediately teleported back up. Whenever you hit the robot, another one spawns in like 5 seconds. Then over here we have the weapons. I still need to add some of the more most used weapons. That's why I left a lot of spots empty. Let me know what guns you guys think I should add. I could even add a whole nother thing over here for more. So finally, this is the moment you guys have waited for. Here is the settings. Starting from the top, we have controller auto run on. We have build immediately on, builder pro. These don't matter for your aim, obviously. Quick weapon, I'm not actually using it. Advanced options on, must be on. Do not use normal without advanced options. You will have way more control using advanced options. So starting at the top, we have horizontal speed at 28% and vertical speed at 33%. So these two are the ones that determine how you move when you're not aiming your gun. I've also started experimenting with boosts lately. I have them at 24 and 24 with a 0.2 second ramp time. The only difference these make is that when you turn your stick all the way, it moves faster. It's almost like using exponential, but not exactly. You don't need to use ramps. I mean, you don't need to use boosts, but if you don't use boosts, this is the speed you'll turn at when you're trying to turn around. So if somebody shoots you, you're going to be going like this really slowly. And I kept dying because I would get shot in the back and not react fast enough. So if you're using the boost, then you can go slow like this, but then when you get shot in the back, you can also go a little faster. The higher the boost, the faster you'll move when you move your stick all the way. The only thing I don't like is that when you build, it can kind of mess up your building because of the build multiplier. That's why I never liked using boosts in the past. Ultimately, I had to use the boost because I just kept dying too much from turning too slowly like this. And then the really main points that will give you good aim is your ADS or aim down sight sensitivity. I have it at 10% and 11% with a tiny boost of 10% on both of them. This way, when the boost is so that when you're shooting somebody in the air, sometimes they get right past your reticle and you can't really catch up to them. This is why I added a boost so that if you move your stick all the way to the right, it'll speed up just a little bit and help you get right back on target. But you don't want to go crazy with this boost. It'll have you aiming all over the place if it's too high. Then all of this, dampening time 0 seconds, input curve is at linear, aim assist at 100, and left stick dead zone doesn't really matter. Right stick dead zone is in my opinion one of the most important. Anything other than 5 and I just feel really clunky in my aiming. The only problem is if you put it at 5, you might get stick drift. It just depends on your controller. With aim controllers, I haven't had any problem with stick drift, but it varies controller by controller. The great thing about aim controllers though, it has a warranty, so if anything does happen, like you get stick drift, you just send it back to them, they fix it, and then they send it back to you. Then foot controller off, obviously I don't use a foot controller, dead zone and max throttle at 1. Some people claim if you turn this on and move this up to like 90% or something, you get better aim assist. I've tried it and I don't really feel a difference. I don't know if it's true or not, but I just leave it off. And then these are for vehicle and tank settings. They don't really matter. So yeah, that is my settings that I'm using. Honestly, the most important thing other than settings is just practicing a lot. If you practice every single day in here, you will notice a difference over time. About 3 or 4 weeks ago when I came back, probably a little longer than that, I was just missing every single shot. Like I was literally like this. And it was just like practice. I just needed to practice. And yeah, so that is my settings video. Let me know if you guys use them. Let me know if you use this map. I really want to know if this map is working. So yeah, let me know if you guys use my settings, if you use my map. Again, here is the map code. I really want to know if the settings are working for you guys this season. I also feel like it's not just the settings, but just Bloom has been a little bit worse because it was always worse in the OG seasons. So if you aren't hitting every single shot, I would partially blame it on Bloom. It wasn't as bad as it was the first week of OG, but it's still not as good as it used to be. And then finally, I'll end it off with the aim controllers. Again, you can use code Brock on aimcontrollers.com. They always have really great deals, but the deal changes every month. So I'll post a picture of what it is right now. I know a lot of you have already gotten a controller from Aim Controllers. I've gotten nothing but good feedback. People that buy them always say they love the controller. You can get it custom made like this. It is more expensive though to add like pictures and stuff to it. Or you can just get the basic controller with the paddles, which in my opinion for a custom controller is pretty affordable. That combined with Control Freaks, and you should be aiming like me with enough practice. So that's it for my settings video this season. I will make another one in the upcoming season. Let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.